Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Quick look here again at AVAX, seeing what's going on. Boy, this is having some difficulty here, that $37 mark. It almost feels like that's the new resistance. What do you know? That's the point of control. Kind of standard stuff there. We're going to talk about this 0.618 fib level, perfect bounce off that range for that lower liquidity level sweep. And again, if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Comment below, let me know kind of where you're at with this coin. If you're trading it, or you're long-term holding it, what are you doing? At the very least, hit the like button and deeply appreciate that very much. If you do want to become a better trader, again, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link down below. So we actually have a trade open in our community with Avalanche, and we averaged down to our last entry. So right now, at this point, we are just a little bit above break even. So if you're watching this, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to secure profits or just to essentially close out the position as a potential reality, just because we never truly know where it's going to go. But now that we swept this lower level liquidity, like literally every last dollar and cent as low as 35.50 was totally swept. So anybody that's the late longs that had high leverage is totally destroyed right now. We're good just because we use low leverage and low position size, making sure that we do not overdo it, if you will. That's just kind of the standard thing for my trading community though. Again, if you're like a 50 to 100x leverage trader, you're probably in the wrong place. While my TA is beneficial and helpful for all of that, it doesn't make a ton of sense. That's not kind of what I feel is appropriate. So unfortunately, somewhere down the lines, someone believed that cryptocurrency is all about high risk, high reward. If you keep the risk low, your reward can still be high. There's a different way of doing it. Anyways, conversation for another day. I teach that at my trading university. Check that out in your own time. Avalanche, daily time frame, where are we at? Well, simple moving averages. We've got to recognize we're still not out of the woods yet. That's the best way to describe it, sorry. The 200-day SMA is right there at that X. So what I wanted originally is like somewhere in the range of about $37, $38 closure or higher to get us, in good shape. We're still honoring this descending trend line, which isn't good. That's disadvantageous to the upside, of course. But we're testing it here today. We're going to see soon if we can make or break at this point. A lot of it hinges on Bitcoin pulling back. If it does, if Bitcoin does pull back, it doesn't respect that symmetrical triangle that we're printing, then we're going to be able to see the price action for AVAX pull back with it. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Either way, we look at the larger time frames here. We kind of zoom out in this most recent range since April 13th. We can see $37 is that point of control. That's remained consistent this entire time. So that's like $37 is that magic number everybody wants to buy Avalanche at. Okay, so kind of the average amount in the last 1.5 months. So if we look at some other factors here, this is positive. We're getting closer back to 50 in the RSI, not quite breaking free. Money flow index is okay there, but stochastic's still swinging down. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to continue lower. It just implies that we're probably getting closer to our bottom, which is good because this continuation of the downside has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 10 days in a row. So if we do take a look at TD sequential, we can see we're getting kind of down there with a 7 here, since we got a late reset upwards of our 9 to the upside. So generally speaking, that's kind of where we're at here for the most part. The daily time frame's not phenomenal, not terrible. We're still trying to diverge in the MACD, but haven't yet. A lot of things that could happen, but this 0.618 fib level, so far, so good, holding strong. Okay, so 4-hour time frame, let's quickly note we're kind of in between a lot of moving averages. This is not a great place. Again, it's going to be much better if we can just simply close above $37. I don't know how hard it is, but for some reason it's a monumental achievement for this coin right now. Because once again, you got to recognize $37 was a support. Now it's a resistance, so we got to break back above it. The key takeaway here is if we were able to close above this trend line here, we'd be in much better shape, because that would show that we're establishing, we've broken this lower low, this trend line, and we'd be above the 20 SMA as well. That's extremely important. We want to be over the 50 in a better case scenario, but starting with the 20 is a good point to start with. Okay, we look at everything else here. Stochastic swinging up, generally that's favorable, but it's getting close to the upside, even though we're still low in price action. Not always the greatest. Money flow index is low, RSI is under 50. So these are still bearish. All the more reason why we have to close above $37. Right here, MACD also needs to reiterate and reaffirm itself with that convergence by closing above 50 on the RSI. So me personally, a closure over 37 today is paramount. Take a look at the hourly. Let's quickly note here we're still below the cloud. And what do you know? The cloud is working itself down with this descending trend line. Okay, so again, until we close above the cloud itself, or just say in general this area here, there's no reason to consider a long position. We don't have that confirmation factor. Now again, if you are in the trade that we took recently here, our average entry or average fill is, drum roll please, is 36 and some change. 36.73. We're currently in profit. Wouldn't hurt to move your stop loss higher to break even, just to effectively consider, if the price does pull back, you walk away, with no skin in the game. Sometimes that's best, because right now this level keeps performing poorly. It's every time we try to come up and create a higher high, we get stopped down. So again, Avalanche is getting close to its support. Once again, 0.618 is a common support range. We also saw this lower level of liquidity get swept too, so there's a lot more incentive to push the price action higher to $38. However, is that enough incentive to warrant the price action continue? A lot of it hinges on Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is, at least was increasing last time I looked, which it still is. That does imply a lot of alts are kind of struggling today. So a bit of a struggle bus for some altcoins here today. The only reason why they're doing well is because Bitcoin has rallied a little bit, and it's up about 3.5% since its lowest point at 67,000. So those are just things that we want to kind of pay attention to, be mindful of. So at this point, I would say AVAX is not in a prime position to take a trade, but we're getting close. Another 24 hours from now, we're at 37 or higher. We should be in solid shape to be able to see the bottom tentatively in and establishing higher highs and higher lows. I mean, me personally, I would much rather see this and get in here than I would, here in just a couple of hours. Because again, we're not quite out of the woods yet. So again, secure profits if you got them. If you want, it's up to you. And of course, just I would say consider making sure that you are safer than sorry. Okay. Again, low leverage, low position size is king, folks. I can assure you that. Damn near everyone that comes over to my community that learns that starts really understanding that the big picture is sustainability and being able to not destroy or hit the reset button on your account every single day. But again, we use low position size. So what I do is I always recommend you use only what you need per trade, or the same amount every single time. So if you got just say $10,000, no more than $500 per trade would be a recommended usage. Probably even lower the larger the portfolio you get too, right? So again, little things that you want to work with, but if you use the same amount every single time, it's not going to hurt as much if you lose that money, and it's going to make more sense when you continue to gain, right? You're losing less in the long run because you're winning more. All right, folks, thanks again for watching. I hope you learned something today. Comment below if you haven't already. Don't forget to join us over on our Telegram, Twitter, TikTok. We got a TikTok and YouTube Shorts now as well. And a lot of people are loving that. So appreciate the wonderful feedback. Thank you to you and everyone else. And we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Thanks again for your time. Take care.